गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्य माता भय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन ब्यूटी फाउंडर आचार्य डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्य माता भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gura Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitangscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaudatishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. हरे कृष्णा. जोर से बोली हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome everyone to this Bhakti Yoga Center. Name is wonderful and you are also very wonderful. So we'll be speaking on Bhakti Yoga because the place is also Bhakti Yoga place. So how many of you practice Bhakti Yoga regularly at your home? Please raise your hand. Okay. How many of you don't practice, very new to this process of Bhakti Yoga? Please raise your hand. Okay. Very good. Request all of you to put your mobile in a silent mode, if you don't mind. So Bhagavad Gita, for all of us, but people say that where is the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in the modern day? So that we'll discuss. So before Kurukshetra war started, so when the two armies assembled, Kaurava and Pandava, Krishna, he was playing the role of chariot driver of Arjuna. And by his desire and arrangement, Arjuna was placed in such a situation, he was able to see two great personalities in front of him. One was Dronacharya and other one was grandfather Bhishma. And they are in the opposite side, enemy camp. So when he saw both of them, he started realizing something which he never realized before. It's not that Arjuna was fighting the battle for the first time. His life was fighting the battle only. He fought so many battles, but this battle was really unique battle, and it became more unique because of the direct presence and intervention of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So when he saw these two personalities, he started thinking, one is my grandfather and other one is my spiritual master. And they are in the opposite side. As a fighter, it is my duty to kill both of them. That is my duty. Because they are fighting in the opposite side. So if I am a fighter, then it's my duty to fight with them and kill both of them. Then he started thinking, I am the grandson also. So as a grandson, it is my duty to love my grandfather, serve him, honor him. Then Dronacharya is my spiritual master. I am a disciple. So it's my duty to serve him. Then he entered into Dharma Sankat. He became bewildered, perplexed. So he started thinking, who am I? This is the sin based on which Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So that situation of Arjuna was the identity crisis. We all face crisis in this world. And the root of all crisis is our identity crisis. So Arjuna started thinking, who am I? I am a fighter, I am a king, I am a Kshatriya, I am a grandfather, I am a grandson, I am a disciple, I am a father, I am a brother. Who am I? So that same situation is also there in our life. We become perplexed, we become confused. We enter into Dharma Sankat about our identity. Right? So spiritual journey begins with this identity crisis. We are in crisis, but it takes long time to understand that we are in crisis. Many people don't understand also that they are in crisis. But Arjuna immediately realized that he was in crisis. He did not take much time. So immediately he understood that he is in perplexed situation and he needs help. So immediately he surrendered to the Supreme Lord. Karpanna dasupata sabhava pichhamitang dharma sambhuracheta jasya sannischitang bruhitan me sisyastyang sadhimangtang prapannam. So he immediately surrendered to the Supreme Lord and he told that I am no more your friend. I have accepted you as my spiritual master. So I am now confused. Please dispel my confusion and doubts. So then his journey, spiritual journey began. So this is very, very important principle. That our journey of life really begins when we start asking the question, who am I? It is known as Athata Brahma Jigyasa. People are asking so many questions. We have so many questions. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, used to say, people are always busy asking questions. Right? Children are asking questions to their parents. In the school, college, university, questions are going on. Court, questions are going on. Everywhere questions and answers are going on. So many questions. Thousands and thousands, millions and millions of questions are asked. But real question is not asked. And that question was asked by Arjuna. And that's why his life became successful. So our life also will become successful when we ask that question, who are we? Then people say, what's the big deal about this question? It's a very simple question. I know who am I. This is my name, this is my address, this is my profession. So whole list I fill via data regularly. What's the big deal asking about this question? Right or wrong? But that is not so simple. It is simple, but it is very deep question. Because we have two types of identity. One is external identity. One is internal identity. One is temporary identity. Other one is permanent identity. One is material identity. Other one is spiritual identity. One is bodily identity. One is identity in terms of the spiritual constitution. So in that way, people don't understand there are two types of identities. Identity in terms of body and identity in terms of the soul. The problem is that people don't accept that there is identity called soul. Right or wrong? So how many of you here really accept that there is soul in our body? Okay. If you don't accept, you don't have to raise hand, no problem. I'm just checking. So I think mostly accept that there is soul. How many of you have seen the soul? Okay. You have seen? No, what's? If you have seen, then I should have a. Okay. You should do like this. Okay. We have not seen it, but we have accepted it. How? So that's very interesting thing. People say generally, unless we see, we don't believe. And people don't like the word faith. Of this faith, I don't care faith. I don't believe in God. Right? And they feel very proud also. So there are two friends. One friend used to believe in God, and another friend was not believing in God. So the friend who believed in God, one day he visited his friend's house. Then he saw his friend is having altar in his house. And he saw he was offering arati also to the Lord. And he was surprised. He said that you always tell me that you are not having the faith that God exists. Then why you are having altar in your house? Why you worship the Lord, offering arati to the Lord? He said, look, I don't believe in God, definitely. He said, then why you do arati? And why you have altar in your house? He said, I have a fear. In case he is there. So what is the problem offering some arati? So inside people have that kind of fear that he may be there. Right? So this not believing God is little superficial and external. And it always changes. Right? So one sadhu came to a village and he sat, all the audience were sitting in front of him. Then he asked a question. How many of you believe in God? Everybody raised hand. Just like you raised hand. Then Sadhu said, you all believe in God, and what can I say? You all know about God. So he left the place. Said, oh, so then what to do now? They had a meeting. Said that we raised hand, because of that Sadhu did not speak. So we have to change the strategy. This time we will not raise hand. If he asks a question, we will not raise the hand. That was the strategy. Then the Sadhu was invited again. And Sadhu asked the same question. How many of you believe in God? Nobody raised hand. As per the strategy. Then Sadhu said, you don't believe in God. You are all atheistic people. What can I talk to you? He left the place. He said, oh my God. This strategy also did not work. Then they thought we should have another strategy. So this time we'll divide the decision. We'll divide our vote by raising hand in two parts. One section will raise hand, one section will not raise hand. Let's see what happens. So Sadhu was invited. Sadhu asked the same question. And as per their strategy, one section raised hand, other section did not raise hand. Then Sadhu said, okay, so this section can convince the other section, and I am leaving. The moral of the story is that our faith always changes. Why? This faith is superficial faith. But we all have to have faith to do anything in this world. Right? How many of you traveled in a night train? Overnight journey in a train. Okay. How many of you slept during your journey in the train? So, if you have to sleep at night in train, you must have faith. What is that faith? The driver of the train will not sleep. Right or wrong? That's why you are able to sleep. No. So how many of you checked in your life? Before boarding the train, check the driver. Don't sleep, okay? Have you checked? Why? You have faith. So when you visit someone's house, how many of you checked the engineering plan of that house? Have you checked? So you have any doubt it may collapse? The roof may fall off? Some devotees are checking the roof. No, it will not fall, no? But we don't check. Why? We have faith. So we cannot move in our life if we don't have faith. But it's a beginning. But faith has different levels. So I give a formula. It's called hope formula. Hope. H-O-A-P. Different hope. I have. So our faith begins by hearing. H means hearing. After hearing, the journey of faith continues. After hearing, observing. We observe. Then A, applying. Then P means propagating. So in that way, our faith gets solidified. It's a journey. Faith is a journey. It begins, our journey begins with faith. Also, it culminates also with faith. Because without that, we cannot move. Prabhupada gives a very simple example. Prabhupada's examples are very simple but very deep. Prabhupada used to say, how do I know that who is my father? Very simple example. So people get confused also. Very brilliant people. They said, how? Simple. Ask your mother. So how many of you checked that your mother said, no, I don't believe that. I want to have DNA test. Have you done that? So our journey began with faith. Who is our father depends on the faith in the words of our mother. But if you want to take a different track, you will not able to find your father. I was hearing, if you take a sample test of all the fathers, 10% of the fathers in the world, it will take 800 years. And before that you will die so many times to find out your father. It's not possible. Impractical. Impossible. But when we talk about our Supreme Father, no. We want to see first, then accept that Lord is there. Right? That's why Prabhupada says that in order to know who is your father, you have to approach your mother. In the same way, if you want to know your Supreme Father, then you have to approach the Supreme Mother, the Vedas. So Vedas are the Supreme Mother. That's why you have to approach the scriptures. You have to approach Bhagavad Gita. You have to approach Puranas. You have to approach Upanishads to understand who is our Supreme Father and also to understand who we are. So therefore, understanding ourselves is very, very important. This is known as Sambandha Gyan, relationship. We talk about relationship nowadays so much, right? Relationship is very important. Experience of joy will come through relationship. How many of you believe that? Please raise your hand. Not believing? Okay. And we talk about relationship. But we don't know our original relationship. So our original relationship is relationship with the Supreme Lord. We want happiness. Right? How many of you want to be happy? Okay, very good. So we all want to be happy. But how we can be happy? That is the question. But the answer is very simple. Through relationship. With who? Who is the source of happiness? If you want to have water, you have to go to the source of the water. No, then you can get water. But if you want happiness, you have to go to the source of happiness. You have to find that source of happiness. That is the real inquiry. Who is that source of happiness? But we think not who. We think which are the things are the source of our happiness. We think we can be happy from things. Consumerism. We want to buy happiness. Because we love to buy in this world. So in that spirit, we think that we can buy happiness. So which market is available? That's why people are mad after money, no? Why people are mad after money? Because they think that if we have money, then we can be happy. And we buy so many things. We buy so many things. There is nothing wrong to buy things. But if you think that by buying things we will be happy, that is the problem. People can give happiness, but things cannot give happiness. That is the real understanding. But nowadays we don't give values to the person. We give values to things. Right or wrong? We love gadgets. We spend so much time. People say nowadays people have become mechanical. Definitely people have to become mechanical because most of the time they are spending time with the machines only. Even they are with human beings, they are not talking with each other. They are busy in their mobile phones. Right or wrong? No personal touch. Because things have become very mechanical. And when you become mechanical, you will become impersonal. Because we don't value the person. And another problem is that opinion is more important than the person. And what is the principle of relationship? Person is more important than the opinion. Relationship means I value the person more than his or her opinion. But nowadays, my opinion is the final opinion. My way is the highway. That's why relationship is not there. So therefore, through Bhagavad Gita, we can understand how to build relationship. Arjuna is showing by his own example how to build relationships. Sambandha. We are not happy in this world, rather we are in this world because of the disconnect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not experiencing happiness because we are not connected with the Supreme Lord. That is the root cause of our unhappiness. And what is the root of our happiness? When we get connected. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in a simple Bengali poem, is teaching us, Jeev Krishna Das, ei Vishwas, korle toar dukkha nai. This song explains how our miseries will go away. When we have faith that we are the servants of Krishna, the moment we believe that, all our miseries will go away. This is the point. Very simple point, but very deep point to understand the cause of our unhappiness. That's why Krishna says, Mamaivangsa jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. That is our primary identity. The soul, that identity is a primary identity. But the body, it is secondary identity. We have 4 levels of existence. Our senses, our mind, our intelligence, and soul. The experience of the senses is known as enjoyment. Experience of the mind is known as entertainment. Experience of the intelligence is known as enlightenment. And experience of the soul is known as emancipation. 4 different levels. But in this world, people are mainly concerned or mainly focused about sense enjoyment. Right? They think by enjoying senses, they will be happy. But the problem is that if mind is not good, if mood is not correct, people most of the time say that mood अच्छा नहीं है आज. My mood is not right. Everything is right, my mood is not right. Then whatever arrangements have been made to enjoy, you cannot enjoy. क्यों? Why? मूड ठीक नहीं. For bringing the mood into right position, then we need entertainment. But material entertainment has no logic. People go to see movies. Nowadays don't have to go also. You can see movies at your home. So in movies, there is no logic. Right? That is material enjoyment and material entertainment. So material enjoyment and material entertainment, what they do? They destroy our intelligence. That is the problem of material enjoyment. But spiritual enjoyment and spiritual entertainment, they take us to the different level. That is known as enlightenment of the intelligence. And ultimately, emancipation of the soul. So, spiritual journey is a complete journey by which we can enjoy our senses. We can also have entertainment of the mind. We also have enlightenment of the intelligence, and ultimately emancipation of the soul. That is the spiritual journey. Bhoga and yoga. What is the meaning of bhoga? Bhoga means senses and sense objects are united. That is known as bhoga. And what is the meaning of yoga? Soul and the Supreme Lord are united. That is known as yoga. Actually, both are yoga. One is material yoga, other one is spiritual yoga. So, bhakti yoga means union of the soul with the Supreme Lord. That is called bhakti yoga. And through that connection, through that yoga, we experience happiness. Complete happiness. But attempt to be happy in this world will lead to frustrations. Because we think we can buy happiness. There are two ladies. One was a rich lady and another one was a poor lady. Both of them were taking dinner together and both of them started crying. Then poor lady asked the rich lady, "Why are you crying?" Rich lady replied that I don't have any friend. And poor lady said, "Come on, I see you are always surrounded by so many people." Said, "Whatever you see is correct. I am always surrounded by so many people, but they are not my friends. They are the friends of my money. Where there is honey, there are so many honeybees. Honey disappears, honeybees also disappear. Money is sweeter than honey. When you have honey, when you have money, there will be so many honeybees surrounding you. But we think, oh, they are our friends. So close we are very close friends. Stop money. Then you'll understand how close they are. Right? So in this world, relationship is based on that principle, money. But that lady realized that. So she said to her friend that I pray to the Lord that in my next life I am to take birth in poor family. Then the rich lady asked, "Why are you crying?" She said, "At least you have honey, but I don't have honey also. And because of that I don't have any honeybees. So I pray to the Lord, in my next life I am to take birth in rich family." So what do you think? What is a good option? Rich family or poor family? So it is said, in this world everybody is poor. More money, more poverty. Why? Because in this world people only have money. Those who have only money, they are poor. That is the conclusion of the scriptures. Human form of life is meant to accumulate that wealth which we can carry beyond our death. That is the purpose of human form of life. And that's why Krishna appears in every yuga and talks about spiritual knowledge, talks about Bhagavad Gita. And because of that, we have the opportunity to accumulate that wealth in this human form of life. So that wealth is the real wealth. So Bhagavad Gita gives that wealth to us, which we can carry. But we are not interested because we are so busy. And people don't understand also why they are busy. Right? If you tell them chant Hare Krishna, say no time. How can I chant? So busy. I don't have time to die also. Right? You are chanting now, that's enough. You chant for me also. So people don't have time. People have time, but people have no priority. Because their priorities are different. They think, what is the goal of life? What is the goal of life nowadays? Because they are so much busy solving problems. Because so many problems in our life. And people become so engrossed solving problems, they think solving problems is the goal of life. Right or wrong? And that is the whole industry. Whole industry is solving problems. Software industry is for solving problems. Right or wrong? You solve one problem, another problem will come. Then solve that problem, another problem will come. No time. So they think solving problems is the goal of life. They don't understand what is the goal of life. So we should have goal. But we should deal with the problems. But because we don't have goal, that's why problem solving becomes the goal of life. So what is the goal of human form of life? To connect. To connect with the Supreme Lord. That is the goal of our life. Because that connection will give us happiness. Experience. We can experience the happiness. You cannot buy the happiness. It's the internal journey. That connection has to be established. And that connection will be established through Bhakti Yoga. And the process of Bhakti Yoga in this age of Kali is very simple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If we chant the holy name of the Lord, through that simple process, we can very easily get connected with the Supreme Lord. And through that connection, we can experience the happiness which we are hankering for. But people don't believe that. They cannot believe that by chanting the holy name we'll be happy. We have to do something extra. So simple. That's why they want to do Ashtanga Yoga. They want to do meditation. One person came to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I was doing meditation, and after doing meditation, I am feeling so fresh. Prabhupada said, definitely, because you had a nice sleep. Definitely you will feel happy. So when we do meditation in Kali Yuga, we sleep. Because we don't have that kind of capacity. Because meditation is a long process. Valmiki Muni went through that Ashtanga Yoga process for 60,000 years. We live for 60 years. But we want to do Ashtanga Yoga. They don't feel nice about this simple process. But the process is given by the Supreme Lord. Because Ashtanga Yoga was possible in Satya Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, that is not possible. So therefore, process to connect with the Supreme Lord in this Kali Yuga is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in this world to give that process, and that process is still available. Anybody can take that process and get connected with the Supreme Lord. So I request all of you, please take up this process and see the change in your life. Prabhupada said, we like to experiment. Why not experiment this also? There is no loss. If you get the benefit, accept it. If you don't get the benefit, reject it. But before experiencing, before experimenting, why to reject? That is not intelligence. So Prabhupada requested all of us to experiment this process, then see what happens. So I will repeat the same thing. Please experiment it by applying this process in our life and see the result. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you have any question or comment on the discussion? You have cordless? Yes.
So you are experimenting this for a long time, right? So are you happy?
Same question was asked to Prabhupada. And he said, if I say yes or no, does not make any difference to you. Because if I say I am experiencing happiness, how do you know? Right. So that's why if you want to know, then you have to experience it. So whether I am experiencing or not, that's not important, because whether answer is yes or no does not make any difference to the other party. Okay? Obviously, I am experiencing something, then otherwise why I am continuing for so long? Something has to be there, no? Otherwise why? Okay? You also try and see the difference. Hare Krishna. The difference happens inside. That's why very difficult to see the difference. Okay. Any other question? Okay, no
problem. Just want to know, we do chant daily, but how we take the shelter of the Harinam, and the absorption level is quite less. Most of the time we feel. So how we can take the shelter of Harinam?
Okay, shelter has different levels. We are discussing in the morning also in the temple class. Somebody asked same type of question. There are different levels. So first is to be awake during chanting. That is the first step. How to talk about absorption, that is high level. What is the first level? To be awake during chanting. As soon as you chant, what happens? Eyelids become very heavy. And we enter into slumber. That is our situation, right? That's why first step is to be awakened. Don't sleep. After that, we have to chant distinctly and hear that very attentively. Then purification will take place. Then emotions will start. Then you can take shelter properly. But before that, we should have faith that this process works. Then you will go through different levels of experience. Okay? Good chanting means hearing properly. That is a symptom of good chanting. Most of the time we don't hear, mind goes here and there. Either we sleep or mind goes here and there. Two things happen during japa. That's why you don't get the benefit, real benefit of the chanting. Kali Yuga. But don't become discouraged. Continue. But we have to improve also. Improvement will happen when we take conscious steps in our life. So we should take a very conscious step that I will not sleep during japa. Then second step will come. Okay?
Sometimes chanting is a very mechanical.
Sometimes, very good. We have improved.
No, not sometimes, every time.
That's
It's a very mechanical. We have to complete our 16 rounds, so just focus on our counting beats and just 16 rounds is completed and the day is completed. So, what should we do to increase the taste in Harinam?
okay. There are different levels. Why chanting becomes mechanical? Because we don't have taste. That's why it's mechanical. That's why you have to develop the taste to have the feeling. If the food, prasadam, is tasty, your eating will be mechanical or it will be wonderful. But if food is not tasty, what will you do? Before eating also you feel very full. No inclination to eat because there is no taste. So I give very interesting example. Whoever is chanting the holy name, they feel happy. Whether they have taste in the holy name or not, they feel happy. But timing of happiness is different. Those who do not have taste in the holy name, they feel very happy after finishing 16 rounds. They feel very happy. The happiest moment of the day is when they finish the 16 rounds. Ho gaya. No more. But those who have taste in the holy name, they experience happiness during chanting. And Prabhupada said, what is the symptom of taste? After finishing 16 rounds, they feel to chant more and more. That is a symptom of taste. So why taste does not come? Because of our anarthas. Unwanted desire, material desire in the heart. So as long as material desires will be there in the heart, there is no question of taste. Therefore we have to clean the heart. Cheto darpana marjanam. That's why you have to hear properly. Whether you have taste or no taste, just like medicines. Medicine, we don't feel tasty, but we take. Why? Because medicines cure the disease. For a sadhaka, holy name is like a medicine. But siddha, holy name is like a food. Same holy name. Okay? So now we have to take the holy name as medicine. Whether you like it, don't like it, mechanical, not mechanical, we have to continue to take. We have to keep on chanting and improve in our chanting, and improvement will take place when you serve the Vaishnavas. Taste in hearing will come when we serve the Vaishnavas. And if you offend the Vaishnavas, then your taste will, whatever you have, will go away. Respecting people, appreciating people, serving people will give you taste in the process of hearing. That is the principle. Okay? Those who have taste, serve them. Then you will get the taste. That is the process. Okay? Very good.
Hare Krishna. So today we mentioned about faith and happiness. So sometimes some incidents happen in our life. It could be small. Sometimes it could be very drastic. So we want something, or our near and dear should be there. Sometimes we will lose faith, or something happens because of which we might lose faith temporarily or for some time, or it is very it will hit us hard. So that time, how should we believe that Krishna is still there for us, and whatever is happening is for our good, and how to keep our faith strong or come back to at least where we were. So I'm a real beginner, so please pardon me for this.
So faith, I told also at different levels. At the beginning, faith is very weak. That's why you have to have good association. Who has strong faith in the process, if you associate with them, then your faith also will become strong. But if you associate with the doubtful people, then whatever faith you have, you lose it. That's why association plays a very significant role in our life. We should have good association. That is the secret. Okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So my question is, how can we keep a check on our actions? So what happens sometimes, not sometimes actually. So many times we are not the good person to rectify or how to recognize the actions in that way. So we understand the concept of guru, and again the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, whatever we are being instructed to do that. But somehow, somewhere we get lost with that process, and we don't recognize that what actually will come with us. So how to identify that thing?
How to identify?
The question is regarding the actions, the way we are doing, whether it is we are in a correct path or not, how to identify that one.
Okay, got the point.
Thank you.
How to know that we are in the right path? There are three lines of authority: Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. If these three are in line, then we have to know that the process is right. But origin is Shastra, scriptures. The process which you are practicing must be from Shastra. It cannot be manufactured by anybody. So, the source, the origin of our faith is in Shastra. If Shastra says, that process is bona fide. That is the check. That's why you have to know Shastra. How to know Shastra? You have to go to a person who knows Shastra. Then you need Sadhu and Guru. Okay? Just like if you want to get a degree, what do you need? If you want to be a doctor, then you have to enter into a medical school, medical college. Then you need to have medical books, and you have to have a professor. Three things are needed. In the same way, in our spiritual journey also we need three things. So we need our institution. ISKCON is that institution. If you choose for that institution, then we have books. Then we also have teachers. Check these three. And if you combine these three, then you will also get that conviction that what I am doing is correct. Okay?
Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says कि नारद की शुरू से ना करोड़ वर्ष हो चुके हैं हमारी ना मानव बिना कीर्तन नहीं सुधार. So how can we be as humble as a blade of a straw? So it's really difficult for us to be that humble in front of Vaishnavas. And Maharaj, if we ever offended any Vaishnava unknowingly also, so how should we, what should we do to make the changes back that now we don't know the name of the Vaishnava that whom we offended, so how can we ask forgiveness?
Okay, two questions you have.
Yeah, two questions.
So how to practice humility in our day-to-day life? That's the question. How to become humble? Very difficult. It's not difficult for you, it's difficult for all of us. Because this world is the world of ego. And we want to become opposite. So there are two kinds of ego, real ego and false ego. This world is the world of false ego. What is the meaning of false ego? Yeah, that's okay. That is the translation, okay. False ego means false identity. When we identify ourselves with something which is false, that is known as false ego. So in this world, people are thinking they are these bodies, and whatever belong to this body are theirs. That is called false identification. That's why it is known as false ego. And what is real ego? I am the spirit soul. That is called real ego. I am the servant of the Lord. That is called real ego. And that is called humility. Humility doesn't mean like that. Arjuna fought the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That is pride or humility? So, become like that. Fight, but fight with proper consciousness. This world is the world of fight. You have to fight with Maya. You have to fight with oppositions. But we fight with proper constitutional understanding. That we are doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. We are doing it as a servant of the Lord. Then that is called humility. Humility is not weakness. Humility is the real constitutional position. That's why people also in the companies, they are talking about servant leadership. Position-based leadership, servant leadership. They are also recognizing now. But we are forgetting. That works. Because anyway you are servant. Right or wrong? At any stage of our life, we are the servants. But those who recognize that, they act on the platform of humility. And those who do not recognize that, they act on the platform of false ego. Okay? So humility comes from knowledge. And ahankara, false ego, comes from ignorance. We should have proper knowledge. Then we can cultivate humility. So, what was the second point? Okay. First step should be, we should stop knowingly. We offend so many devotees knowingly. So first take care of that. Then unknowingly. For unknowingly, Prabhupada has given a system. Every day morning we should chant that mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. By praying like this, sincerely from the heart, offenses done unknowingly go away. And we have to pray to the holy name to be free from offenses. That is also a very powerful process. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you Maharaj for coming here. Maharaj, I have a question that today you talk about Bhakti Yoga here. But why Krishna talk about Sankhya and Stanga, and then people get confused, and instead of Bhakti, a lot of people try Stanga and Sankhya.
Because everything was spoken because people have questions. All the questions are answered properly. If you know the subject matter properly, then you have to know the whole thing as a package. So if you don't know other yogas, then how you will understand the superiority of Bhakti Yoga? That's why Upanishad said you should have the knowledge of this material world also. Vidya, avidya. So both are needed. In the same way, understanding of other philosophy is also needed to understand the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. If you don't know, then how will you understand? Knowledge is very, very important. So, to give the complete understanding, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita and described all kinds of processes and established the topmost process, which is Bhakti Yoga. Okay? This is the last. No problem. It's up to you.
Though we are in association, so we are always connected to God when we are in association doing Hare Krishna chanting. But when we come to the outside society, like when we meet the outside people, and again sometimes we lost the track, like what we are doing. We get stuck with the anger or understanding, like how to react with such scenarios, like in the right way. Again, though we are following that path, we will lost in the track of when we meet the outside people. So how do we pull when we are into the situation where outside exposed to the other scenarios or situations?
If you can summarize your question, it will be nice.
Yeah, when we meet the outside people, then how we should behave? Because here we have two lives, is what we are saying, right? One we are chanting, and the other outside people. How should we behave?
Who is outside? Just two.
We are just in a beginner process of how we are going through the process and trying to understand and follow the path. But again we get pulled back with the situations or the outside circumstances or the people we come across with other than the association. So how do we cope up and pull ourselves into the right path?
Your answer is hidden in your question only. So, if you want to be in the right track, then you should be in right association. Just like if you want to be a good cricketer, for example, then you have to have the association of good cricketers. But if you associate with the soccer players, then you will be diverted to soccer. Right? So right association will keep ourselves in right track. So you may say, then what to do? I'll stay in my home only, I will not go outside or what? One is taking association and second one is giving association. So when you are weak, then you will take association. And when you are strong, then you will give association. So when you take association, take right association. And then when you have good association and take good association, and when you go out, then you will give your association. Then he will become like you, not you will become like them. That is the science. Okay?
Any questions? Yeah, what question is okay. Sorry. Anyone else?
I don't think.
On this side, I think this side of the hall doesn't have any questions. Simple. Okay.
I think that's. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.